Hello, Devora. It's Stuart, of course, talking about the exercise portion of it. So, following up on the drawing that we just were looking at, here I am with my own body, and I too have some constraint on the right side of my body. So, I invite you to, with your hands, just moving side to side and feel this territory. What am I doing? I'm rubbing back and forth on my lower ribs, feeling that bony landmark, right? And then you could take your hands, the two of them, feel the lower rib here, front and back, and then sweep across the lower ribs to the other side and just go back and forth. Feel back there. And then notice as you go down here, I'm on my left side, right? That journey between the ribs and the pelvis here, right? And we looked at the drawing, there's the abdominal muscles, right? There's the quadratus lumborum deep inside. You can't palpate it directly. You got the rim of the pelvis here. You got the psoas that comes down here. We talked about that path between the jaw, right, and the respiratory diaphragm and the pelvic floor. And then we talked now about below the pelvis, the relationship between the femur, the upper leg bone, down to the knee to the foot. You can't see my foot in this video, but you know it's there. Guaranteed. You've got tension, I think you mentioned, in the lower calf and in the ankle, probably the arch of the foot. And we talked about doing calf stretches against the wall. I'm not going to demonstrate those here now, but just notice as you do this kind of practice, left side, right side, and the thing of turning on the lights inside. And you can, let's make a transition here, and then take that same exploration to a sitting posture of taking your hands right here and feeling the bony landmarks as you go back and forth. I got my thumbs, remember the ball and socket here, right? So my thumbs are kind of right here in these little corners here, outside, and then inside the upper groin area. You could take the whole leg and move it around. So I'm going really fast through a bunch of different things that are just using the hands and simple movement to wake up the pathways all along here. It's actually a really simple thing to do, just sitting here and taking a yoga belt, a yoga strap, and just, straighten the knee, rock back and forth. What I'm doing here is a sitting version, right, boom, of what you can do. Might as well transition right now. Let's see how well this works. Where's my camera person? Yeah, this is a little frustrating here. Beg your pardon. Let's see if I can edit this. I'm not sure. Crap. in this transition. We're talking about constructive rest. I don't have something with me. I use my shoe, right, to just support my head. This is important as you do this. I'm going to pause for this. All right. So we're transitioning down to the lying down work. I wouldn't usually use a pillow this side, but you want to be sure your neck is comfortable, right? You remember constructive rest position. The feet are hip width apart, bent at the knee, and I just drop in. I have my hands here at the two halves of the iliac crest, right where the legs fold and ascend toward the bended knee. And then I just drop inside and do a mindfulness-based body scan. Feel my feet on the table, feel my legs, and I do like a reading. I try to be neutral. Even neutral, positive, feeling gratitude really helps turn on the lights, adding joy, relaxing the jaw. Feel the two halves of the pelvis, feel the support of the earth below me, feel the length of the spine extending up from there, feeling the two shoulder blades against the table, floor, whatever surface you're using, the head supported, hanging out in that position. I'm going to send you an exercise on the pelvic clock. It's a wonderful thing to do. I'll describe it, might as well. Imagine a clock here. 12 o'clock's where your tailbone is. 6 o'clock is, where your navel center is. And you just rock back and forth. 12 to 6. Tailbone curls down. Tailbone lifts up. So you're going back and forth. 12 o'clock is down. 6 o'clock is up. And then you could do that with your breath. Breathing in. As you go to 12, exhale as you go to 6. Now you have some tenderness here, right? So you don't even you can make these micro movements. Right. I'll say more about that pelvic clock later in details. We're going to the John Jewel exercise. Spreading the legs. You're not yanking the legs. You're just putting the weight there. Once they're hanging there, you can brush down on the inner thighs, all the way down to the bottom even. You can come from the other side, just lengthening the glutes. You can do this for a couple minutes, really let the breath go, really relax into the support, and then do this one leg at a time, spreading. You can massage the foot. I don't know if you could see me as I'm doing this. That's a really valuable way to get this going. You might know this stretch. I'm taking my hands on the opposite leg. This is a great stretch probably for you. I don't know if you could see this that well. Nice and slow, right? But slow all of this down. I'm going through this kind of fast. And then you take the yoga belt, which I've moved somewhere. During my camera setup. And you put the belt here. I'm going to take the camera now. Here we go. Out to the side. Yeah. And be dynamic about it. As opposed to just there's something to be said for static long long stretch, but a lot to be said about the dynamic movement to the same side and then to the opposite side. Now, in your case, keep a neutral pelvis as you're doing. It's going to lift a little bit, right? But there's a real difference between doing it with the neutral pelvis and then doing a twist. The twist may work for you. This can also be really valuable, but doing this carefully, lengthening down and hanging. Be really gentle with that. And then a lot to be gained, Devora, by going on to your side. And again, you can let the leg, in this case, hang off the side of a bed. Here's all this ITB stuff, foam roller, tennis ball. And then lastly, guess what could I say? Things where you're, not my most flattering angle, right? Where you're moving and playing with your arm rotation to open the side while you yield into the support of whatever surface you're lying on, and you breathe, opening all of that up. Take it nice and easy, nice and slow, incrementally, weaving back and forth. That's the math. Play with this. Let me know how this works for you. Let me know if you have any questions.